Charlotte Flair made a triumphant return to WWE by winning her second Royal Rumble. It's looking like we're going to get Yeet-A-Mania. What is the Tribal Chief going to think about all this? AJ Styles returned. Alexa Bliss returned. This is the Spandex Stand-Ups.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, man.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
What a Rumble.
What a Royal Rumble we had.
Shout out to everyone. Thank y'all so much for everyone that watched it with us, the live stream. We had such a blast here in the studio watching the whole shebang. 4.5 hours for a pay-per-view for 4 matches.
Yeah. Yeah. And wow, we had a good weekend too. We did some comedy together this weekend.
Had
Shout
a
out
fun
to
show.
shout out to the Basement East.
Yeah, here in Nashville.
Nashville,
Nice
Tennessee.
fun show on a Sunday. People came out on a Sunday.
People came out, saw a great show, had some out-of-towners, some Nashville locals. Great time.
Yeah, man.
And then
Got Rumble on Saturday, show on Sunday.
Yeah.
Raw on Monday.
Killer weekend. Yeah, no, Rumble was not what I expected.
No, threw some swerves at us, and I'm okay with it.
I see the bigger picture.
And they are dropping nuggets. They are got a lot in store for us this Mania season.
Yeah.
So we got plenty to talk about. Let's get into some news up top real quick. Duke Hudson released from NXT. Not only did he have to see his beloved Chase U crumble to the ground, but he got straight up.
I mean, something might have gone on behind the scenes. We don't know. Maybe he asked for a little release. Maybe, they're just like, hey, go be a star somewhere else and then come back. That's the match. Sometimes that's the secret sauce.
Yeah, sometimes you need it,
is have a good little run at WWE, go really become a star.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, and then when you come back, that little seed you planted will be even bigger. I mean, look at Cody referencing Stardust. I mean, it's like it's like but I mean it's one of those things. So I don't think this is the last we see.
No, I think he's was he Australian, New Zealand, one of the two. He can go back over there, crush it for a little bit. Indy Hartwell, do both. I'd love to see both of them back at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you got that WWE endorsement kind of behind you when you have that little run. So, you're already a bigger star in the Indies, right?
No doubt.
That puts you in a place to perform alongside the best of the Indies and help you elevate your name. Again, do what Cody did. Make a list.
Yeah. I mean, that list was that would be the fun thing, getting released from WWE, and then you have complete creative control over your character again.
And people want to work with you.
Yeah, I love when wrestlers go to social media and just create a buzz for themselves. Bray did it. Bray kept us all, that brief time he was released, he kept us entertained.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss back on a new 5-year deal. What a great return, man. I honestly was flabbergasted. Her music kit, and pearls clutched.
I watched it back, and probably one of the biggest returns in history when you look at the audience response.
Dude, they lost it.
Everyone loves Alexa Bliss, and everyone loves Alexa Bliss for like the right reasons.
Yeah. She
is small, but she's always had this furious, very aggressive, like,
always been scared of her.
She fights.
Yeah.
Like when she's out there wrestling, it looks like she's really taking it to her opponent.
Yeah.
And we saw that. Like her first sequence in the ring was like, oh man, that intensity is still there. Yeah, people love Alexa Bliss. And again, like Alexa Bliss was champion for, she was the face of the women's division for a pretty long while in like the 2018, 2019 period. Sure. Went against Nia Jax.
Yeah, I love their little feud friendship thing that they had play out.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I mean, I think everyone's excited she's back. Seems like she might be a part of the Wyatt family, given
She came back with the Fiend and all.
She had the doll.
I like people were like, the doll went under a little plastic surgery. Okay, her cheeks are a little brought in. You know, she got a little lift. You know,
so I think we'll see, and maybe this is. Do you think she ends up joining the Wyatt 6?
I hope they have a teaser about it. You know, but maybe not join them. Maybe feud against them. I'd be okay with her and Nikki having a little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? I don't think. I mean, it doesn't need to be an NWO situation where everyone's joining the Wyatt 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are they going to change their name to? Wyatt 7? You know what I mean? Like,
right. Maybe she comes back and she's like, I don't like what y'all are doing to his legacy.
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that'd be cool if she fought against them and had the higher power on her side.
Yeah.
And then have like a little Uncle Howdy didn't know what's, you know, like a torn. That'd be great.
Like Uncle Howdy is this false prophet. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, that could be turn Bo into a more sinister character when they're ready to go that route for sure.
yeah. I mean, turn him into like a heel the way he
Yeah.
needs to be a heel, which is
Yeah.
like he's actually not here to honor his brother's legacy, but to destroy it.
Right. I mean, that's a great narrative to paint, you know,
Yeah.
because we all thought, you know, those characters work way better as heels. You know, it's just they have the legacy. You know, everyone's a Bray fan, you know, so we're pulling for any carnation of his family, you know, so.
When we're in that anti-hero moment in WWE where it's like there's bad guys that we love to love, but we need those guys we like love to hate. We have a couple of those like Dominic.
And he's
Logan
slowly
Paul.
becoming a face
Like-
because he's been so fun to hate.
Right, but we need those folks that are so I mean, almost like a Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
just like you really there isn't a, you know, you don't really like the character at all, and
Yeah,
you're billing it
there's no
because you
redeeming
genuinely dislike this character.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and no offense to Jinder Mahal, we all know that you were
Killing him, man.
pigeonholed to Vince McMahon's version of
Tell
it.
him you hate America.
Yeah.
It'll work, pal. All right, we got to talk Rumble. Was Jey Uso? We'll get right into it, man. Hard-hitting questions, journalism up top, okay? Was Jey Uso the right call for the Men's Royal Rumble?
Yeah. If you are going to throw a curveball and not go with Cena, not go with Punk, and not go with Reigns, who can you give that to and still create a lot of very interesting stories?
Yeah.
The jealousy factor
Yep.
that Roman is going to feel because Jay,
I can already see his lip.
you know, has this opportunity. His brother. Again, I think, I mean, if you were going to surprise us with someone and it was still going to be, I mean, I think you really could have gone either Jay or Sammy.
Yeah. 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 Because, I mean, just think.
If you're going to do like a curveball from left field, but you still want to honor someone. But again, they already had this Kevin Owens, Sammy.
Yeah.
So
it kind of throws a wrench in the
doesn't
works if
need
Sammy
it.
wins the Rumble. Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure Sammy is like hearing, I'm sure he's not given a choice, but you know, if headline WrestleMania for the championship or go against your best friend at WrestleMania, you're kind of like, well, both are kind of
both
the
are dope.
best,
Yeah.
case scenario. So
Now the question is, who does he battle? Because, I mean, everyone's thinking Gunther, you know? I personally think the more intriguing option is Cody Rhodes.
for some reason, I think Jey Uso is going to end up not in a singles match. And I don't know why, but I just feel like it's going to end up
People
being,
would riot, my guy.
I think it's just going to end up being a triple. I mean, they did it to Benoit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about it? But he won the Rumble, and next thing you know, it's Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris. And again, there's a way to build somebody up by creating that circumstance.
Well, just think about it.
I mean,
you know, like, because it's clearly seeing, like, it's telling me that Seth, Roman, and CM Punk are kind of do their thing. You know, we're hearing rumblings of Priest and Drew McIntyre feuding for the foreseeable future. Who matches up with Cody if Jay picks Gunther?
I mean,
and vice versa, really. Who matches up with Gunther if he picks Cody?
So I think it's going to be Roman, Cody 3.
I think they're pushing towards something bigger with Seth here. Seth wouldn't have had that brutal attack on Roman just for him to be like, nah, I got something to do over here.
Right. So it'd be Seth, Roman, maybe Cody, Punk. Because it just feels like they're pushing Punk to the moon.
I still feel like they got Punk intertwined in Seth and Roman for some reason. Because I mean, a lot of this is going to be played out at Elimination Chamber. It all depends on who wins the Elimination Chamber and who Jay picks. But they're keeping Roman because Seth is still talking trash about CM Punk. They intertwined with the intro with the Sammy Punk thing. They're keeping them together for a reason,
right? Part of me feels like WrestleMania is gonna be Gunther. I think Jey Uso is gonna go for the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, we kind of saw that in the promo on Monday night.
Yeah. It was a great promo.
The WWE Championship.
He did say he's got to go to Friday and talk to Cody, though. So we could get an even better promo between those two.
But I think it's going to be the World Heavyweight Championship. And you're right. I guess now I am very clearly seeing Seth and Roman. I don't think they put Punk in that.
Okay.
They're really pushing this. It's Punk's dream to. So now I'm like, Elimination Chamber. It's either going to be Cena or Punk that wins that. And I think we're on to something with Cena. Just always.
See, dude, kudos, because for the first time in a long time, we have a show that we can talk about this, and we don't know.
I think Cena's going to win Money in the Bank, and then
that would be dope.
And then he just hangs on to it, and maybe he does the right thing, and he, tells the person when he's cashing in instead of just surprising them. But
and that's when we get Cena and Cody, when he's like, "I'm going to cash in on you at SummerSlam."
Or whoever it is, really. It could be, it's either for the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, no, I just think we get Cody Cena at some point, and that would just be a good way to get them. Yeah, you can't have Cena take this farewell tour and not have at least one match with the current Cena.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying, man. There's so many what ifs. There's so many variables. There's so many different directions. They've laid so many Easter eggs that so many different feuds make sense. That's the best part, is they can put so-and-so and so-and-so together at Mania, and the lines are all like I see how they got there.
Where does Punk go if not in this whole equation? I mean, you don't ruin the Roman versus Seth WrestleMania match.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. I just don't know why he's lingering around that feud, because he's on both of their lips still. And we still got to figure out how the Heyman favor ties into all this too. So I'm just saying there's too many strings in front of us for me not to think something's going on between them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like they dropped the ball with the Bloodline storyline recently.
It's gone.
It's gone.
They're not even talking about it anymore. I think Solo's got to disappear for a little bit.
And they talked a big game about when Roman comes back, you won't even believe the story that he. And maybe, I mean,
well, but that adds to it. Seth put him out. Yeah. Seth put it. We were supposed to be getting that. Roman was supposed to come back, OTC, win the Rumble, reclaim his championship, and Seth. Mm-hmm. So that's why that's intriguing. Mm-hmm. Because that adds to it. And Solo is ashamed he had to disappear. Mm-hmm. So now you got Jacob Fatu running wild on SmackDown because no one's keeping him contained.
Right.
Solo's not there. He doesn't listen to anybody else. You see Toma Tonga come out. He doesn't listen to him. Mm-mm. So the little ripple effects are there. And I'm truly loving the storylines because everything has a cause and effect. Everything has a chain reaction. Mm-hmm. And even if it's just little subtle things. they come back to, you know how they would just drop storylines for no reason and not mention them again.
Yeah.
They're not doing that anymore. They're dropping these little hints, and then we forget about them, and then a few months later, boom, that's why that happened.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. It dilutes Roman Seth, but they got CM Punk hanging around for some weird reason.
Yeah, and I think it's just because he's so easy to hate, and everyone's kind of just like...
But that's gotten heat on Seth.
And it helps.
Anytime he mentions Punk, they boo Seth.
Because he creates unlikely alliances.
Yeah.
You know, because people like rally around their hate for him.
In the locker room, the fans will not turn on him, though.
Right.
The fans will not turn on CM Punk. You got arguably your biggest star in Seth trying to bash this dude, and the fans are like,
right.
No. It's the top stars are intertwined, man, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
No matter which way they go, it's going to be great. All right, how you feel about Charlotte winning on the women's side?
I think it's what's best for business. I think Charlotte Flair is, I mean, really besides Rhea, Bianca's great.
Yeah.
But Charlotte's matches have a different intensity to them. She's the queen. She's the current greatest of all time in the women's division and arguably in wrestling. She's just one of the greatest. So her winning, her becoming a two-time champ or two-time Royal Rumble winner, it's adding that layer of like history and stats that we've talked about WWE is now really getting into. So I know some people are upset about it.
Yeah.
But I think Charlotte's, I mean, she got injured twice in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, there's so much we haven't, she got divorced.
Yeah. Yeah. That just finally came out.
There's so much that's gone on for her to get back to this place that we don't know about. And we don't know what kind of shape she's in. And again, the things that she's had to overcome. So,
how'd you interpret her promo? It seemed to me like she tried to cut a babyface promo, and the crowd wasn't having it.
Oh no, I think she knows she's a heel.
Okay, so you think she tried to start out and turned on him, and that was playing?
I think she knows she's a heel.
Right.
Yeah, because
Well, because you think either she goes for Tiffany or Rhea. They're both faces. Because it was nice to tease Rhea, you know, that history there. But she's still got to. I think that face to face with Tiffy is just going to be electric, and I think Triple H is going to see it, and he's going to be like,
I think it's going to end up being Charlotte versus Tiffany.
Yeah, because they're teasing Io.
Right.
Io and Rhea's got something. Because way to go, cost Io the elimination spot against Liv by getting her DQ'd, and that was a nice little interaction. So there, I would love to see Io and Rhea at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but then, Charlotte Rhea would be Charlotte Rhea 3.
Yeah, I think they're holding off on that. I don't think they want to pull that trigger yet.
You don't want to... Who can afford to lose? Can Tiffany Stratton afford to lose at WrestleMania to Charlotte? Can Rhea,
I hope neither one of them lose to Charlotte at WrestleMania. Not every Rumble winner needs to win, I'd rather Jay win than Charlotte win.
It's true.
You got to pull the trigger on Jay at some point. You've had him win the almost too many times.
Right.
If you don't let him win this main event, what do you do with him after that?
Right. Now, he's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre, apparently, we heard all the rumbling, stormed out of the Royal Rumble. He was mad at a certain superstar for messing up his elimination because rumor is he's supposed to be traded to SmackDown to start a feud with Damian Priest. But apparently that wrestler he is upset at is LA Knight.
I watched it back. Did you see what he was upset about?
No. What I read today is he was supposed to be eliminated before Logan Paul even got there, and something messed up. So his elimination got messed up altogether.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm hoping he talks on Friday and we get some kind of clarification. You know me, I need the whys.
Yeah, but we did see, Damian Priest eliminate him, so that did happen.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is a work or not because we had Priest and Knight team up last Friday.
Right.
So if he's starting a feud with Priest, why not go after the guy he's been hanging out with?
Right.
And also, isn't it kind of Drew McIntyre's thing to storm out of the pay-per-view before?
That's his thing.
You know?
He did a Survivor Series. He did it again.
AJ Styles traded to Raw. I think that's a good move for him, freshen him up.
Put him on Netflix.
There's nobody on SmackDown he needs to be feuding with. Get him in there with. I think I'd like a AJ Styles Logan Paul feud.
I think it'd be really good for Logan Paul.
Yeah, he'd teach him a lot.
I also think AJ Styles would love it and have a lot of fun with it. But that's a big match.
Some electricity
in the world of professional wrestling. Yeah. AJ Styles is considered one of the GOATs.
Yep, rightfully so.
And him with Logan Paul is huge. It's a huge match. People want to see that. 100% people want to see that. And they're both going to be on. They're both going to be on Monday Night Raw in Nashville, Tennessee next week.
That just popped in my head. You know, I know Logan Paul's got a little thing with Ray because they got a match, but after that, they announced AJ was going to Raw, and my brain was just like, put those two together.
Absolutely.
Looks like Liv and Raquel are going to focus on the tag titles. Naomi got the win over Liv on SmackDown, but they got attacked afterwards. Still no Jade. No Jade at the Rumble. No one's really talking about who attacked her anymore. So where are we going with that?
Maybe it was ending up being Bianca.
That's what I thought. She'd pop back up at Rumble and start, and we'd have at least a stare down.
I'm surprised she wasn't in the Rumble.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, her matches have been. She hasn't really found the rhythm.
Yeah. And I mean, there's talk that she's got outside stuff she's got going on right now too. Like nothing bad, like other projects.
Yeah, movies and stuff. I mean, yeah.
So yeah, I like Liv and Raquel in the tag match because that lifts that like you got Bianca and Liv and Naomi and Raquel in the tag division right now.
That elevates the women's tag division by a lot. Yeah,
to the moon. Because they've done great putting the titles on all the brands. Like they had a great match with Last Legend and Miss Jackson in NXT. You know, like that's what I wanted to see. Is if you are a tag champion that covers multiple brands, be in those multiple brands. So they've done a good job of that. Penta gets a big win over Ludwig Kaiser.
Penta, man, they're pushing this guy to the moon.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get it. I get it. I like Penta. I've been a fan of his for years, so he came to WWE already, me being a fan of, so I understand it. But they need to put him in a feud, and they need to let people see how cerebral he can be.
Well, they need to put him with Andrade.
I'd like that.
Like he needs to like the WWE style of wrestling is not Penta's style of wrestling,
right?
And it's not the Lucha style of wrestling, and a lot of those guys don't totally do well with folks that are.
I mean, you've seen Dragon Lee,
so I think you need to put them with. You know, it looks like they're doing this Pete Dunne thing.
Yeah, that'll be a great.
Which is a good start. But ultimately, I want to see him and Andrade.
And you also got to think Triple H can go to Pete too and be like, "All right, can we trust this guy to do the WWE thing?"
Like to me, Penta versus Andrade is like a huge opening match at WrestleMania.
I'd love that.
And yeah, this is a great way to elevate Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Again, bring in a global superstar.
Yeah.
Help elevate
Who's
Pete
also
Dunne.
Done some producing. So he understands the formula, the way of the federation. You know?
It's a huge endorsement for Pete Dunne to be in this position, to be kind of Penta's first feud. Honestly,
yeah. I mean, and then they also teased him with Braun Breaker and the IC Penta and Braun once he gets acclimated. I'm here for it.
I don't know if they'll do that, but I mean that would be an incredible match. But we'll see if Penta gets there. But I think he'll get there.
They brought Penta in to be the face of the Latino market, and he has succeeded everywhere he has gone.
Yeah, so the Intercontinental title is perfect for him.
It's a good tester. Like if they play their cards right, Penta can be a main event guy for them, but they got to do a lot for him. They seem to fumble the bag for luchadors,
right?
Not named Rey Mysterio,
right? I mean, Ray, yeah,
and Ray'd always get hurt every time he'd get there, you know. So I'm just saying, Penta's built for it. The best part about Penta is he can move like a high flyer, but he's Luka Doncic. Dude's a beast,
right?
You know. so he can compete with the heavyweights. You know, he's got the height on him, he's got the size on him. He doesn't look small compared to the Priest.
Right, he's huge. I mean, yeah, he's a big guy.
So I am on the Penta train, and I hope WWE fans get to see him more, not just these squash matches. And like you said, great feud with Pete Dunne will go a long way for him. All right, last thing I really wanted to talk about in our weekly roundup this week. Stay tuned for our 2-part this week. We're diving into the first Elimination Chamber match since it is EC season. We got to talk about Punk gets the spot in the Elimination Chamber, beating Sami Zayn. But Sami's night's not over after the match. We get his buddy, his friend, his compadre, the guy he was there for at Royal Rumble. Like, we just saw Sami holding KO while KO's bleeding, and he attacks him.
Perfect story. Perfect WrestleMania match. Yeah.
Because, I mean, our eyes were focused on we only get this if Cody loses to KO and Sami wins the Rumble. We still can get this match, just not for the title.
Yeah, I mean, you know, these guys, they did this match in NXT, I believe.
It's amazing.
Then they won the tag titles at WrestleMania together. They're best friends in real life, so that makes this story even sweeter, knowing that those guys are about to go.
They're gonna pull out all the stops.
Yeah,
man.
go. You know, have a singles match against each other at WrestleMania. What better compliment can you give a friendship in this business other than saying, "Hey, you guys, go do what you do.
Go do what you do.
Go do what you do in front of everybody.
We trust you.
Yeah,
put on a match."
So I think it's a great story, and it gives both of them a meaningful WrestleMania, and that's ultimately what it's about. Folks just don't want to have some throwaway. Oh, you think this is going to do this for my character? This is this is one of those stories that you go, like, we are about to find the sweet spot instead of, like a Drew McIntyre might be facing, which is we're going to have to force it.
You're not feeling Drew and Priest, huh? I think they got some potential there, man.
I think they have potential. It's just forced. It's not what either of them would like to be doing.
But like
Drew,
you said,
after Drew's killer year, all of it culminating in a match against Damian Priest.
We got a little time here. Let's play dream scenario.
But at the same time, it is the guy who cashed in on him at WrestleMania last year.
Exactly.
So
we got some history there. Their promos started heating up a little bit when Priest was right before he lost to Gunther. Drew was like, and I'm going to come for that again. We're not by a long shot.
I just don't think the story helps either then.
I get it, but where would you put him? You know what I mean? Like, so say
Drew should be going for the world heavyweight title. If anything, Drew, if it wasn't Jay that won, I almost think people would have rallied behind Drew winning again, becoming a 2-time winner, and then going on to win the world heavyweight title at WrestleMania.
But that would turn him face. I don't think you're ready to turn him face yet. You just turned him heel at the end, like last year. I would say that it makes sense because this is just following along in Drew McIntyre shit luck.
I just feel like how often do you have a heel win the Rumble?
No, yeah.
And then he could have just been such a bad guy, being like, I don't know.
You almost tempted to put him against Cody at that point,
right?
Because he is moving to SmackDown.
Yeah, I want more for Drew. That's
no, I'm wholeheartedly on board with you. I just had to have that sit down with myself because I was upset too. I was like Drew and Priest, but then I was like, where else do they really fit right now? So if they can go off and put on a banger feud that no one saw coming, I think
you're right.
Not that they needed to be boosted anymore.
It could be a big match, and those guys would have something to prove, and it could be a slobber knocker.
It could be Seth Randy that opened WrestleMania a couple of years back. Where Seth ended up winning the title in the main event. Like that first match stole the show.
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep an open mind because I too want so much more for Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be positive about Jey Uso. Like, he's a good dude.
There's more storytelling than this is going to be a great match. I mean, I'm not excited about like his match really.
Right.
But the story around it is very interesting. And
I just don't want it to be like a Kofi situation where you're like, you see, we did a thing. All right, give us our belt back. Brock, take his belt.
But then it does create a scenario where, like, if Jay wins, who's the tribal chief?
I like that. Okay, are we going back into that?
I mean, we have to. I mean, he is the tribal chief. I think Roman Reigns is the tribal chief for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
And I do think that story ends like with Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania. Yeah. I do think that match will happen at some point.
Yes, I agree with it. It has to.
But it has to happen soon because The Rock is not looking like
he's 55.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for our weekly roundup this week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on all things Spandex stand-ups. Check out Evan Burke Comedy. You got anything big coming up there?
What do we got coming up? I'll be in Lowell, Arkansas, on February 21st and February 22nd.
Going to the Grove?
Going to the Grove, Lowell, Arkansas. Going to be featuring out there.
Who you featuring for?
Wyatt Cody. And I'll a lot of just Nashville shows. And then at the beginning of May, March. Let's go ahead and put this on y'all's calendar. March 7th and 8th. Both Drew Harrison and I are going to be in Atlanta, Georgia at the West End Comedy Festival. Super fun comedy festival with a killer lineup. Folks like Beth Stelling.
All kinds of wrestling with all these comedians.
Yeah, Beth Stelling, Ben Palmer, winner of Last Comic Standing, Clayton English are all on West End Comedy Festival's lineup. March 7th and 8th. That's what I got going on. What do you got going on other than West End Comedy Festival?
I'll be in Henderson, North Carolina, the Wednesday before the West End Comedy Festival.
Boom.
And then be down in Atlanta, doing our thing, talking wrestling, talking comedy.
Boom.
But yeah, we're just getting started here at Spandex Stand-Ups. 2025 is going to be a great year, so make sure to hit that little notification button so you stay up to date on all things wrestling and comedy related. We'll see you next time.